Yeah, so maybe I'll kick that off. So the Warm Welcome campaign is a national initiative that was set up a couple of months ago. Conversations around the cost of living crisis, recognising that as winter was approaching, then people may struggle to have their heating on all the time. They might find it need to go somewhere else. And so a group of different agencies and organisations got together and encouraged communities, churches, and some sort of community buildings to think about offering a warm space. And so I picked that up in an email, I think it was, and talked to one or two people in our church, and then I think in the city, I think it's the West Cheshire Voluntary Action, they also put out some advertising about it. So we just felt with the meeting place cafe that we run here every Friday, it would just make sense to tap in, get connected. And so since I think I registered us on the Welcome Network about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and then we'll be open in January, February, March.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely, we've seen an increase in people coming as the weather's got colder, which we didn't know whether that would happen or not because it's icy outside, and so actually getting out of the house is a bit more effort, but actually I think we have really seen that people are wanting a warm space, a warm cup of tea or coffee, and also just people to chat with, people to connect into. So
So one of our hopes here is that we do a couple of things out of the building. Abby helps to coordinate a team of volunteers, that we do food parcels, emergency food parcels. So we like to give practical help with food. And then after that, we also wanted to give people like a community connection. So that's what we're trying to do here, is connect people, give people a little bit of a space to just get out of the house and combat a little bit of the isolation.
I would say obviously a warm space, physically being warm, but also that warmth is in, I think we forget sometimes that Christmas and winter can be a really hard season for a lot of people, just because of what they're going through in lives, and sometimes, especially as the cost of living is increasing and coming out of the pandemic, a lot of people haven't refound those social connections that they had and those communities that they were connected into maybe before. And so providing a space that is a welcoming atmosphere and warm as in you feel welcome here, there's a smile on a face, there's a safe place, I think is really important for, as well as people's physical health, people's mental health, people's social well-being, connecting with people.
I think the other thing that we do as a church is we have another space on a Monday morning, which is also a warm welcome space, which is called the Renew Wellbeing Cafe, and that really focuses in on what Abby was just talking about, which is a holistic approach of well-being, your mental health, your sort of social connections, a place to belong. So we were already running these projects as a church, and it just seemed a really obvious thing to do, to be fair, because we want to be a place where we can connect with people, provide a warm welcome, whatever we do. So, it is a very challenging context right now in the nation, the pandemic, now the cost of living, all those things mean that people can feel very challenged, a lot of anxiety. So, for us here, to provide a little bit of respite is just something we really want to do. Again, anecdotally, I think it's interesting to see, isn't it? I had a quick look at the website yesterday, and I think there's nationally now over 2,000 spaces registered. So it's interesting, it's like this double edge where there's, I think, not just churches, but community groups, libraries are wanting to do something, aren't they? They're wanting to say, actually, we're in this together. It doesn't matter whether you're an old person, a young person, it doesn't matter whether you are working or employed. Actually, all of us are struggling, I think, with this cost of living. And I guess heating is one of those things that people are choosing. I think we find, and Abby probably will have more stories from the food bank, food distribution, where people are having to make really hard choices. Do you buy food or do you put your heating on? And I think, we thought when we did it through the pandemic, maybe the need would drop off, but actually it's probably at least stayed the same, if not.
Yeah, so we are back open on the beginning of the week, the 9th of January, and then we'll be open on a Thursday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. and on a Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.